Wondering what happens when you post on YouTube every single week for a year? Well, you're in the right place. If you're just seeing my face for the first time, welcome. My name's Amy. I'm 29 years old and I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. And last year I decided to start taking YouTube seriously when I saw that my TikTok and Instagram was not going to be making me as much money. On this channel, I share primarily travel vlogs, destination guides, information about digital nomad life, and also tips about content creation and influencing. In this video, I'm going to talk about the goals of this channel, what I'm doing to get monetized, and look into analytics so you can get a better idea of what goes on behind the scenes when you are filming these YouTube videos if you also want to get monetized and you are posting on YouTube every single week. So let's get into it. Obviously, if you are posting regularly on YouTube and taking it seriously, your main goal is probably to get monetized. To do so, you need to hit a few requirements on YouTube, one of which is 1,000 subscribers and another is 4,000 watch time hours. There's also another requirement as an option. If you don't hit the 4,000 watch time hours, you can also aim for getting 10 million watch time hours on shorts in a 90-day period. At the time of filming this video, I have about 1.7k subscribers and around 2,000 watch time hours, which means I'm about 3/4 of the way to getting monetized. However, I will say that it does take a lot more time to get the watch time hours than it does to get the subscribers, which I'll get to in more detail later. But in the meantime, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's talk about why I'm not monetized yet. And before I take you through my analytics to show you what's going on behind the scenes, I want you to know that my goal for this year was to create a video every single week and in turn get monetized from that. So I didn't quite hit the goal, but we're going to see why as soon as we get into these analytics. Alright, so jumping into the analytics, we have the overview section and you'll see that the date is marked for a little bit over a year at the time of filming this. I'm also filming a few days in advance before I post this video. However, I posted my first video for the set of posting every single week for a year, a little bit over 365 days, so you will see that in the corner. You'll also see that I had almost 1 million views, almost 6,000 watch time hours, 1.5 subscribers, over 1 million impressions, and 4.7 impressions / click-through rate. Keep in mind that this is for both long form and short form videos, so I'll get into the separate content pieces after, and that's why I haven't hit the 4,000 watch time hours, because it also includes views from the shorts. Also, I started this channel back in 2021, but at the time I did not have the time to dedicate to it and I only posted maybe 5 videos, so that's where you're going to see some other metrics coming from. I think around 200 people subscribed to the channel when I first started it and posted those first few videos, so that's where you're going to see the number differ a little bit. Now you'll see most of my traffic and views were coming from my shorts. 87% of my traffic to be exact, and 59% of my watch time hours came from those videos. I started posting a lot of shorts because I simply repurposed for my TikTok and was just using that to get as much traction as I could on my channel. And honestly, those videos didn't get a lot of traction in the beginning. It was only once I started posting them consistently on a regular basis that I started to see some traction and growth. But I'm going to get into the shorts a little bit more deeply in a second. So going a little more deeply into traffic, my second highest source was YouTube search at 6.7%. And while this doesn't sound like a lot, it's important because the second, third, and fourth most highest were browse features at 1.9% and channel pages at 1.5%. So this shows that search has been really important in getting my views, especially on my long form videos. It's a strategy I've been using every single week. I actually use vidIQ, the free version of that, and I log in and look for keywords related to videos I want to talk about and use that in my strategy each week. Now, heading to the geography section to see where most of my audience is coming from, we have the top countries being the US, UK, India, Canada, South Africa, and Australia at the top. And this didn't come as a surprise to me, except for India, because I don't really talk about India or mention India in any of my videos. So that was interesting. But the rest of it definitely makes sense because the content I create on TikTok and Instagram are centered around those locations a lot because I've spent a lot of time there. And then cities were interesting to see, but I don't really think this matters in the grand scheme of things when you're looking at your audience. Then I took a look at my viewer demographics to get an idea of how old everyone was and who was watching my videos. So the main demographic is 25 to 34, which I'm happy about because I'm 29, and on Instagram and TikTok, I'm generally creating content for people a lot younger than me, which is totally fine, but it's interesting to see an older audience here on YouTube. I think this is due to the nature of my videos being more educational, giving tips on digital nomad lifestyle and becoming a content creator. And while it's possible to do that at a younger age, I definitely think the 18 to 24 range is not as high of a category because they are probably still in university or at school and they aren't looking to do remote work at the time. Now, heading over to my views and watch time hours for the past year, I was surprised by this because I thought views would steadily go up over time, but it's kind of been all over the place. Over 15% of my views have come from the previous month of April, which does kind of make sense because I was sharing a lot of shorts, but then we will look at that in a second. In terms of watch time hours from February to April this year, they were almost tied, so that makes me feel like I've been learning a little bit more about views and retaining watch time hours and creating content that you guys actually like. But then again, when we look at the average watch time, it's under a minute at 58 seconds, but this is also including shorts, so that will play into it and we'll talk about that a little bit deeper in a minute. If you have a YouTube channel that you're trying to grow, you might be wondering how many times a week or how frequently that you should be posting content. And I've seen firsthand that you definitely get a lot more views when you're posting more content. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be sharing a lot of content all the time and the quality goes down. You should definitely only maintain a schedule where you're putting out content that maintains the same sort of quality so that you're putting out good content and not just below average content that anyone could be making. I think a good way to do this is putting out a lot of YouTube shorts and less long form videos. Of course, long form videos is good for getting monetized, but to get your subscribers up and to just grow your channel in general, shorts is a really good way to do it. If you're just starting out, I would suggest putting up 1 or 2 long form videos and then as many short form videos that you can throughout the week. So looking at my analytics from the past 28 days, you'll see I only posted 2 long form videos in April and I had posted shorts. Then right below, YouTube told me in very clear terms that my views were low because I posted far less content compared to usual. So obviously I try to keep up with posting as much as I can, especially the shorts because it's easy to maintain a schedule, and especially if you have content on other channels like TikTok or Instagram, you can repurpose that content. Okay, so going back into shorts were actually more than 95% of my views, and less than 5% came from my long form content. So I've also published only 52 long form videos, which is about 1 per week, and over 700 shorts. So there's a huge difference in the number of videos that I've been putting out there when it comes to shorts versus long form content. And as you can see, I only gained around 300 subscribers from my long form videos and the rest have been from shorts, which I'm going over as a reminder to myself to get back on top of shorts and put more out there because I have been slacking a little bit. But I realized I also need to step up my game when it comes to my cover image on my shorts because according to this, less than 50% of people who saw my shorts viewed them. And now heading to my views from my long form content, I got 43.6k views, 626.9k impressions, 5.2% click-through rate, which is the percentage of people who saw my video and chose to click on it, and finally 2 minutes and 40 seconds for the average duration. You can also see how many videos you get each day, and you can see from the graph mine is insanely low most of the time but had a spike at the end of January when I got 865 views, which was my most viewed day on a long form video. Of course, we need to look at my most viewed content and most popular videos to get an idea of what's going on with this channel. And it's interesting because most of my top videos are first impressions about a place or something that was related to current events or the news. My top watched video is from when I was in Morocco and visited a surf town that I had previously visited with my boyfriend that was actually being torn down. So when we were there, we thought we'd check it out, see what it was about, and vlog the experience. Obviously, because it was on the news, it got a lot of attention. The next one was about San Juan del Sur, which is a surf town in Nicaragua, and I was pretty much shit-talking it, to be frank. I didn't really like San Juan, and I went right into the negatives and things I didn't really like about the place. And I think this did well because usually videos that have a negative or hot take will perform better. Next up, we have a video I did on Sofia, Bulgaria, and clearly it was a country and city of interest to people traveling at the time. I had no idea it would kind of blow up like it did, but I'm happy that it did. The next two were about Morocco, so again tied to the first video that did really well related to the news, and I think that's why I got some traction. And then we have a video about World Packers, which is a work trade exchange program where you do some work in a different country in exchange for a place to stay for free and some food and activities. Alright, so we all know that thumbnails play a huge part in whether or not your content is seen on YouTube. I mean, you obviously thought that this thumbnail was interesting enough to click on it, and that's what I'm going for. But it took me a while to find a thumbnail style that I liked and I thought that you guys would like and would be easy to click on, so let me work you through how I got there. The thumbnails with my highest click-through rate was the Imswan one, San Juan del Sur, Everything We Spent in Tagazout, and that was around 8%. One thing that I learned about thumbnails is that you shouldn't put too much text. In fact, less is more when it comes to text, and having it be very clear and easy to read. You'll see with the top performing thumbnails that I have, they have a big title and then below they have a header, which was easy to read as well, had a background so that you can read the text. And yeah, I think the image behind was also visually stimulating, and that's another reason people clicked. My thumbnails didn't always look like this, but I went back and pretty much changed out all of my old ones to look similar to the ones that I'm doing now, because not only will this look more cohesive if someone goes on my channel, but it's a good way to get more new views on old videos. Of course, the title and description of a video will also play a part when it comes into views and how long someone is watching. You can see from my top viewed videos that almost all of them have caps on some of the words in the title. And this helps you stand out amongst a sea of other videos, and I will definitely be using this in the future. It doesn't have to be the whole video in caps, but if you even have some keywords in caps, it will stand out and people will be more likely to see it and then click. I also always use the keyword I'm trying to go for in my title and make sure that it's like in the first 3-4 words if I can. The description box is another place where you can utilize SEO practices, and I use vidIQ, the free version, once again, to go through and fill everything out. They make it so easy for you, so it's really easy to fill out. It will tell you different words that you can put in as suggestions, and you kind of have to play around with it as well. Another thing that I think is important when growing your YouTube channel is how comfortable that you are on camera. And if you look back at some of my old videos, I was not comfortable at all. I was so awkward, and I didn't really know how to talk to the camera. This is something that takes a lot of time and practice, and I'm definitely not perfect at it now. I still find it a little bit awkward sometimes, especially if I know there's people in the house that can hear me speaking and filming a video, because it just seems a little bit weird even though I've been doing it for a year. So I think it takes a little bit of time to get used to. The biggest issue I currently have is actually finding a place to film, because I'm usually in hostels or moving around a lot as a travel creator, so I don't always have a quiet place to film, and I don't really love filming in public. I will vlog in public, but doing a sit-down video like this is hard to do when you don't always have a quiet place to film. For example, this month I was in Malta, and I haven't posted as many long form videos as I usually do because it was really hard to find a place to film. But on top of that, I actually think I've had long COVID for, I don't know, like 6 or 7 weeks now. I had a really bad cough and it kind of took the life out of me, so that's why I didn't post as much content in May this year. Alright, so going forward, I don't know if I'm going to change that much. The main things I'm going to change about this channel is making sure I'm putting out shorts consistently and sticking to the schedule I have for posting 1 long form video a week, because I think it's all I can handle at the moment, and making sure I'm putting up videos I'm truly interested in. So while I'm still going to keep my strategy of putting out videos based on search terms, I'm also going to throw in some videos I'm just genuinely interested in filming and sharing with you guys. Think videos like this where it's not necessarily targeting a keyword that I can get a good reach on, but something you might find interesting if you are in a similar position, or something I would have found interesting when I was watching YouTube videos. While I didn't end up monetizing my channel in this year, I did see some significant growth, which has been great, and I'm definitely going to keep going. And one thing to note when you are doing this YouTube journey like I am is that you need to enjoy the process and know that the growth is going to be slow. You will see some people have extreme growth and get monetized in a few months, which is amazing, but just know that it's not always the case. There are people like me who have bigger platforms on TikTok, Instagram, etc., and it will take a long time to actually grow a YouTube channel. So stick with it and you will get there eventually. If you're still around, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I hope you found it informative, helpful, useful. I'd love if you can give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and let me know what you thought about this whole topic and if you're interested in seeing more content like this in the future. And if you have a small channel like I do, let me know what you've been struggling with so we can get through this together and get monetized as soon as possible. I'd love to connect with other creators doing the same sort of thing and just find a way to get monetized so we can all make it. Thanks so much for being here once again, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!